talking about Comunidades, to clear one thing is that many people have got a impression that Comunidades were started by the Portuguese, but that is not the truth. The truth is that Comunidades existed much before the Portuguese came to Goa. The Portuguese came to Goa in 1510, but much before that, Comunidades existed in Goa, and at that time they were called as Gaunkaris. Also, they were called as village self-republic. So everything was looked after in the village itself. It was a unit where everyone found all their needs, food, and a small construction like small bridges and all those things, barns and all those. During Portuguese time, when Portuguese came, actually Comunidade is land. It's about land. They were holding the land, but Portuguese never interfered with their land. They, in fact, they codified. They brought rules and regulations. They made the Comunidade more stronger than they were, and they only took some tax because which is called a dirama from the Comunidade, and they gave all the services. Earlier years when they came, they also gave protection to the Comunidade from other invaders and all. So during the Portuguese times, Comunidade thrived because there were no tenancy rules, and Comunidade used to get good revenue from the fields and water bodies and from fish pens and salt pens. Before liberation, during Portuguese rule, Comunidades were doing very well because they used to get a lot of revenue because they used to lease it out to the people, the highest bidder, the fields to grow every 3 years. And then they used to also get a lot of income from fish pens and salt pens. But after Portuguese left Goa in 1961, later on, after a few years, this Tenancy Act came into force, and the land it meant that the person who tilled the land is to be taken as a deemed owner. So they stopped paying any rent to the Comunidade. As a result, almost all the Comunidade fields were gone, and there was no revenue out of them. So Comunidade did very poorly after that. There was no income to the Comunidade. There are different types of Comunidades. By saying different type, I mean there are Comunidades where only zoniers are there. There are Comunidades where zoniers and shareholders are there, actionists, and there are third type of Comunidade where only shareholders are there. So these are the three types of Comunidades. Then what the Comunidade basically do is shareholders come because Comunidade issues shares. Why they issue shares is whenever they had need in the past to make the land, work on the land, make the salt pens, make the fish ponds, make the fields. For that they wanted money for the laborers, to pay the laborers. So they put shares, and the people who are interested, they have bought the shares. And Comunidades were doing very well as an agricultural institution during the olden days. But now it is a different story. But we will deal with that later on. So what else the Comunidade do is that they give their fields for auction. They used to give for auction and collect revenue from the people who take the fields. Also, they used to give pescaria, that is fish ponds, and salt augers on rent and collect rent. And this is how they used to get their money. And after getting their money, they used to pay the dividend and zone to the zonaires and dividend to the shareholders, depending upon how much money they have made. After the Portuguese came to Goa, they streamlined the Comunidade. They brought a book of regulation, which is called as the Code of Comunidade. Code of Comunidade has later been changed again in different times, depending upon the times, 2 or 3 times. But they started and streamlined the administration and other things of the Comunidade. See, Comunidade component that consists of Gaonkars, zonaires, and shareholders. They elect the managing committee for a period of 3 years. And whenever there are some important issues, all the members come together to decide on that issue. The managing committee calls for the general body, and the general body comes, and then a decision is taken when it comes to important decisions. Whenever there is something important, then managing committee will inform the administrator that they want to have a general body to discuss a certain issue. Thereafter, they have to print it in the Gazette, and after printing in the Gazette, they have to publish it in the newspaper. And after it is published on the newspaper, within 15 days, after 15 days, then they hold a meeting. Comunidade members, Gaonkars and all, they are not selected. They inherit it. They have to register. When they are 18 years, they have to register their name. If their father was a Gaonkar, the son can become a Gaonkar at the age of 18. So they are not selected, but they are inherit.
And is there any how the general body is selected in that?
General body, all those who are registered as a Gaonkar, and all those who have got shares, together they are known as components. They have to come.
And what is the right and responsibility? Anything if you can tell us?
Right and responsibility, they have got certain rights, like they have to come for the general body whenever they are called. This is of responsibility is on the managing committee, who has to see that if there are any illegalities like structures coming up, they have to inform the administrator. And whatever problems are there, they have to take care of that, managing committee. There is no ownership for the members. Land is owned by the Comunidade. Tenancy is an act brought by the government. So you have been cultivating and you've got the receipts. Then you have to go before the Mamladar and say that you are a tenant, and then there is a case going on. Comunidade has to go and tell their part of the story. And Mamladar in the end gives an order whether that person who has applied for tenancy is fit to be called tenant, or sometimes it is rejected. Mostly they are given tenancy. Today, Comunidade has no income from paddy fields. They don't get any rent from paddy fields or cajues. Only income most of the Comunidade get is from the fixed deposit rent, which may have, because some of their land may have been acquired by the government, or they may have given to somebody to put up some industry, or some acquisition of the road. So all this money is there is taken in the from that is taken and put in the fixed deposit, and the rent that comes they distribute as dividend and pay for the zoning. See, there are many legal challenges like illegal construction, then encroachments, and new laws that are coming by the government. So there are many challenges, but Comunidade members are fighting it out through courts. There is the only way is open to the Comunidade.
But there is no income source, so how they struggle, or some people left this?
Yeah, that depends upon Comunidade to Comunidade. There are some Comunidades which have been defunct. They cannot do anything. They are helpless. But there are some Comunidades who have still got some money with them, and they are fighting it out. They even go to High Court, Supreme Court, and they try their best to save whatever is there. Cultural sense, social, not much. Earlier maybe, but now, if you cultural means in the sense that they used to pay remuneration for the feasts of the village, which some Comunidades have now not carrying on with that. Some Comunidades still carry on in the sudden feast they are doing, the Comunidade feast, and also Gaonkars participate in that, and the Comunidade sometimes renovates it, give them the money. See, in the past, what used to happen is Comunidade used to have certain feasts that they were conducting, or they used to give to the Gaonkars to hold, so to do the feast. But now, after some time, because it was discrimination some people felt. That's why in some villages people have stopped doing that, and the whole village conduct the feast. But still in some Comunidades, some villages in their Comunidade, they are still carrying on, and they are celebrating in a grand way. Whoever are doing it now, very few, but they are there.
Okay. Can you just name some of it, like any festival which is associated with it?
With Comunidade, one that comes commonly to the mind is Three Kings Feast. Then the feast at Raya, traditional cutting of corn, cutting of rice, paddy. And like this, there are other villages also.
So, depend on village to village?
Depends upon village to village. Yeah.
As per that Valmiki Padaro mentioned all the names.
No, not because that. See, that managing committee of or general body of that particular Comunidade decide whether we should keep this or whether they should leave it. The general body is the final authority. Yeah.
So right now, you see in modern Goa, because they are following down the Comunidade system, so they are living this festival day by day.
No, see, there are two reasons. It's not only because of money or something like that. Sometimes also people feel that, see, they move in the village. As I told you, the Gaonkars have become less, and they have got friends in the whole village. And it is sort of a discrimination. So they don't want to carry on with that, hostility. Like sometimes they also say, why you only, why not others? So some have given up, some are carrying on. Younger generation, what I have noticed is that when they are young, not much, they are not much interested. But as the same person grows little older, say when he becomes 40, 45, 50, that time they show some interest, older people. Not because of anything, but because of this is our history and this is our culture. So that's why they come a little closer to this.
So, because you are telling that after 40, because first they become an economical sound.
Yeah.
then they come.
Yeah, not only because of that, and they are become mature and they can understand, and they become closer to the history of the village. Yeah, they are take more interest in their, what their parents used to tell them this thing. But when they are young, your mind is on other things. Most biggest impact is the tenancy. Mostly that has crippled the Comunidade. And to some extent also Munkar cases, protection from eviction. But that is not that much. But tenancy is a major blow. So that has taken away the income of the Comunidade. The best of our ability, we should preserve it. As long as we can, we will preserve it. That's what everyone feels.
And why you want to preserve it? Because of some reasons, if you can name.
See, there is our culture, and that is our ancestors have worked so hard for that. But because of certain laws and all, now it is very difficult for us to do. But we have to fight and we have to keep it going. We want to do many things and there are ways of doing it, but we don't have power. Power now in the legislative assembly, they make the rules. Most of the rules are to weaken the Comunidade, nothing to strengthen the Comunidade. But
you talked about some time back about the cooperative system.
yes. What I meant to say by cooperative system is that, see, in Goa, we find that mostly the land is fragmented. We don't have land like, how the zamindars of in India, other parts of India, they have huge land. We have got, somebody will have a small field of 500-600 square meters. Somebody maybe 1,000, somebody might have a 4,000, and somebody might have 10,000, 20,000. Now, when you have a small field, it becomes very difficult for you to bring machinery and do automatic mechanical agriculture. So it becomes uneconomical. If you go for labor, then the laborers are charging very high and you hardly make any profit. So the best thing is to go for cooperative. Now what I mean by going for cooperative? Now suppose there is a big land and it is about, let us say 1 lakh square meter. In that there are many holdings, small ones, big ones. So if all these people who are having holdings there, if they make a cooperative society and give the land to the society, they can do mechanical, agriculture, harvesting and all that. And after taking out all the expenses, then whatever remains, then that can be divided in pro ratio to your holdings. I have given 1,000, so whatever as per percentage is coming to me, that much percentage I should get. Who has given more, they will get more. Who has given less, will get less. So this way, it is a good thing. There are many things. Sometimes people talk about Comunidade and something what is not sold, it is already sold, they say. Comunidade cannot sell the land just like that. But there are some mischief played by some people, which I don't want to name, Not in our Comunidade, but somewhere. Yeah, in general.
Yes.
So, those people in your Comunidade should be vigilant. They should see that everything runs properly. But you cannot stop people from talking. Today, anybody talks. Need not be a component of the Comunidade. Anybody talks about Comunidade. They don't know the rules, regulations, and still they talk. As of now, if you go to see the Comunidades are in ICU because all their income is gone with tenancy. So many legislation are coming which Comunidade are weakened. If the Comunidade cannot be revived, there will be administrators. But still, our members should fight. They should convince the government to take up some issues and get some benefit for the Comunidade, or how Comunidade land can be protected now, whatever is left of it. And maybe we'll get some income more and carry on to prosperity. Younger generation, see, once you are 18, you can be a member. You should bring your birth certificate, and your father is registered, then you get automatically registered. And they should take interest in this, because this is our heritage and this is our history. And parents also should motivate their children so that they can take interest and help in the affairs of the Comunidade.